What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and 2022 is almost over, and 2023 is just a few days away. And what's really exciting is that we are only a couple of months away from Phase 5. Actually, we are less than 2 months away, as Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania comes out February 17th of next year. And with that starts Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And things are about to go down. It's about to get really serious in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Despite whatever you felt for Phase 4, whether you hated it or loved it, things are about to change. And I'll walk you through it in this video. If you're in love with the MCU as it is already, you're going to be even more excited. And if you are kind of on the fence right now, listen to this video and tell me at the end if you have changed your mind or not. Because I truly believe that it's about to get insanely exciting. So what exactly is about to go down in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that is going to be such a big change from Phase 4? Well, as most people know, Phase 4 was very much an experimental and a rebuilding phase. We ended the Infinity Saga with Avengers Endgame, and then we started a new saga, the Multiverse Saga. And with the start of a very new beginning, some of our old iconic classic characters leaving us, of course there had to be new characters introduced to the MCU. But not all of the old original characters left. Now some of them are taking more of the spotlight, and we had to focus on their story a little bit more as well. So naturally things had to be built up again. But keep in mind, Avengers Endgame and Infinity War didn't come in Phase 1 or 2. Phase 1, 2, and 3 built up to Avengers Infinity War and Endgame happening. That is what Marvel Studios has done with Phase 4, and it's all about to be connected, and it's about to go down, starting with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, Phase 4 teased us with the multiverse, and I really mean teased us, because we thought we were going to go all in with Multiverse of Madness and Loki, but it really was just a teaser. Now, Loki did an excellent job of introducing us to variants. Spider-Man: No Way Home also did an excellent job, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness kind of topped it off. But here's what's really about to happen in the MCU. Here's how everything is about to be very connected. It all starts in Phase 5 with Kang. With Ant-Man 3, we are going to be introduced to the true villain of the Multiverse Saga. However, we are not just going to be introduced to one villain / Kang, but multiple Kangs, some of which might even be good. A very small percentage, but some might. And what Kang will introduce to us is the true power of a villain who can travel throughout the multiverse at his own will. This makes him a very dangerous villain because he can go not only to different universes, but to different times in different universes. And keep this in mind, some universes are more advanced than the others. This is actually what makes Kang so powerful. He can go to more advanced universes, and he can go forward in time to go even more advanced. And he can take their technology and their weapons and whatever it may be and bring them to the current main sacred timeline of the MCU, and wherever else he wants for that matter. So right away, he's an extremely dangerous villain because of the power that he harnesses, being able to jump through the multiverse at will. Then comes Secret Invasion after Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and this is going to be a lot more important than people realize because it's going to show us that perhaps some things that we knew about the MCU we didn't really know. We know that the Skrull are going to be disguised as probably some of the people we thought we knew. We got a little taste of this in Spider-Man: Far From Home. Talos was disguised as Nick Fury, and we didn't know he was, and it was revealed that Nick Fury was actually in space. Now, Talos, a good Kree, did that for good, but there are bad Kree out there who are going to disguise themselves as very prominent people for bad. So what we think we might know about the MCU might actually be shattered with Secret Invasion. Then comes the Guardians of the Galaxy. And this is going to be big because this is going to be the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy. But at the same time, it isn't going to be the complete end. We are going to get a new Guardians of the Galaxy team. So going forward, leading into the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, we'll have a completely new Guardians team. And what's really cool is the possibilities of who could be on this team. Nova could be on this team. Adam Warlock could be on this team after Guardians 3. Depending on what they decide to do with the Silver Surfer, he could also be a part of the Guardians team. So the future of the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be very exciting. Then comes the Echo series, and I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit here, and the Daredevil series. This is going to bring us our street level Avengers team, and it's going to bring Kingpin back into the MCU after Hawkeye again. And hopefully, if rumors are true, this all leads up to the street level Avengers team teaming up with Spider-Man to go up against Kingpin and other amazing villains. But then we have Loki season 2, and this is really going to change things. This is going to show us a true Kang the Conqueror, somebody who has conquered the TVA and is controlling it for himself. We will be introduced introduced into even more variants. We've already seen that with the teaser for Loki Season 2 that we got from Disney. But most importantly, we are going to see how Kang controls time in different timelines. This is going to really dive deep into who Kang the Conqueror is and what all he can do. Then we have the Marvels, which are going to connect us to the cosmic side of the MCU even more, along with Guardians of the Galaxy. But what's really important about this movie is the bangle that Kamala Khan has. This is directly linked to Kang, along with Shang-Chi's 10 rings. They are both the same technology. There's also a pretty big rumor going around, and it's just a rumor for now, but the rumor says that Rogue could possibly appear in the Marvels. Now, her and Captain Marvel have a long history together in the comics, and I, for one, would love to see this happen on screen, but it's just a rumor for now. Now, we're only about halfway done with Phase 5. We still have the rest of the half, and we still have Phase 6, but right now, let me know how you're feeling about the MCU's future in the comments down below. Are you getting more excited than you were before? And if you are not, let's talk about Mephisto, and let's talk about him in a very real way, not in a meme way, but a real way. According to many different insiders that have great track records, Mephisto is going to appear in the Ironheart series. Now, they're not going to address him as Mephisto, but what he is being referred to, as far as we know so far, is a demon. Now, in the Ironheart series, we know that the Hood is going to be the main villain, and apparently, according to these insiders like My Time to Shine Hello, the Hood is going to get his powers from making a deal with Mephisto. And if you haven't heard, Mephisto is supposed to be played by Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat himself. And there has actually been leaked concept art of what he will look like in this series, but unfortunately I can't show it on screen due to copyright. But if you just look for it, you can find it. And then we have Blade, and Blade is just going to open up a completely new side of the MCU. Werewolf by Night started us off, but then Blade is going to really take it to the next level, basically starting the supernatural and the monster side of the MCU. We're talking vampires, werewolves, monsters, you name it. And we're talking about characters that could appear in the Midnight Suns. So Blade is going to kick it off and going to open it up for characters like Ghost Rider and the Black Knight, which has already been teased. And to top that all off, we have Agatha, Coven of Chaos, which is going to take us even further into that darker, more mystical and magical side of the MCU. And to top it all off, Phase 5 is going to end with Captain America, New World Order, and the Thunderbolts. Now, so far, what we've heard about both of these movies is pretty crazy. Captain America New World Order is kind of going to be about Super Soldier Serum. Also, Harrison Ford is joining the MCU in Captain America New World Order as Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. And if it is all about Super Soldier Serum, we are probably going to see him Hulk out and turn into Red Hulk. It's also said that this movie is going to have about 6 different villains, the leader being one of them as well. It's also said that the new Avengers team is going to start to be assembled in this movie. So here's where it starts to really pick up going into our new Avengers films, the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. But the big finale of Captain America New World Order could be that it introduces a major X-Men and Wolverine connection. Because according to some insiders like Daniel RPK and My Time to Shine Hello, in Captain America 4, the world governments are going to be fighting over the head, and possibly the rest of the body, of the Celestial that died in the Eternals on Earth, Tiamat. Apparently, the body of Tiamat contains adamantium. And if you didn't happen to know, adamantium is the metal that Wolverine has fused inside of his body. It's also mentioned that the head could serve as Genosha Island, which in the comics is basically a base camp eventually for the mutants. But to top it all off, we are getting a new team, and of course the grand finale of Phase 5, the introduction of Sentry to the MCU. Sentry is supposed to be the villain of the Thunderbolts. He's going to start off on the Thunderbolts team, but then he's going to start to kind of go crazy hearing voices in his head. Then the Thunderbolts are going to have to kill him. But if you know anything about Sentry, that's pretty impossible. But this movie will introduce Sentry into the MCU, and eventually he should go on to become a hero, and hopefully he goes on to fight in Secret Wars. And that does it for Phase 5, but it only gets even better in Phase 6. Now, we already know about the 2 Avengers movies coming in Phase 6. Avengers: The Kang Dynasty is going to connect a lot of things that we didn't really see were connected at first. Like I mentioned before, Shang-Chi's 10 rings and Kamala Khan's bangle being connected. Like I also mentioned before, there are going to be many different variants of Kang. This is what He Who Remains told us would happen if Loki and Sylvie killed him. Essentially, there would be another all-out multiversal war, but remember, the multiversal war wasn't between just random different universes, it was all between Kang and his variants. So it really was a Kang war. But what the Kang Dynasty is going to show us is who the real, true big bad Kang is. So this is going to be a huge staple in the story leading up to Secret Wars. Now, of course, in Phase 6, Marvel's first family is making their way to the MCU, the Fantastic Four. This gives us the introduction to one of the greatest superhero teams of all time and to Reed Richards, the smartest man alive in the Marvel Universe. Not only is the introduction of the Fantastic Four going to permanently change the MCU, but the Avengers are going to need the Fantastic Four to defeat Kang and save the multiverse. The introduction of the smartest man alive and his team are how the Avengers and everybody else who's going to be a part of that group are going to figure out how to travel the multiverse. I feel like I don't really need to hype people for the Fantastic Four's arrival. I feel like it's already there, but they are going to be extremely important and insanely cool. But then, of course, not officially announced yet for a release date, but we get Deadpool 3. Now, even if this movie was simply just Wolverine and Deadpool, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds sitting in a car for 2 hours, it would still probably be one of the best things that ever come from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But we know the TVA is going to be involved, we know that Owen Wilson's Mobius will be in there, and we know that Deadpool is going to be traveling the multiverse, running into the old X-Men, the old Fantastic Four, and who knows who else? So while I'm sure the movie is going to have some consequences for the MCU since the TVA is chasing Deadpool, I'm honestly just ready for the comedy and just Deadpool and Wolverine to interact with each other. Because Hugh Jackman is back and we never thought we'd see that, and now he's on screen with one of his best friends, Ryan Reynolds. It's going to be awesome. Now, somewhere in the mix of Phase 5 and Phase 6 is another Spider-Man film. Most likely in Phase 6, but hey, it could be in Phase 5. A lot of people are really excited for this because Peter Parker, our MCU Peter Parker, Tom Holland, is finally going to be on his own. He's not going to kind of be babysat by anybody like Tony Stark or Nick Fury, or Talos disguised as Nick Fury, or Happy, or the other two Spider-Men. But he is finally going to be on his own, which is super exciting in and of itself, but then you take into account that he's probably going to lead the street-level Avengers team and interact with people like Daredevil, She-Hulk, and go up against Kingpin. That makes it even more exciting. And to top it off, we are supposed to get projects for the Silver Surfer and Nova. Now, recently these were reportedly supposed to be special presentations. However, new reports have come out that state that they are going to be actual movies. So we should have the Silver Surfer, which should also be a good indicator that Galactus is coming, and Nova. So they should be a part for Secret Wars. And of course, to end it all, to end the multiverse saga, we have Avengers Secret Wars, where not just the Avengers, not just the Fantastic Four, not just the X-Men, but all of the different ones in all of the different universes are going to come together to try to save the entire multiverse from Kang the Conqueror and who knows who else. With this movie, literally anything is possible. I've said this before, but Batman could show up. It's literally possible now that James Gunn is the CEO, co-CEO of DC Studios. He has talked about a DC Marvel crossover before. He has pitched it to both Marvel and DC. Perhaps we may get a small cameo for Batman or somebody else from DC in Secret Wars. Literally anything is possible, and that alone makes this movie just one of the most anticipated movies of all time, and that's how the multiverse saga is going to end. Now, as a Marvel fan, this all excites me a great deal, but let me know what you think. Are you excited about this? And if you weren't and you are now, please let me know in the comments. And if you're not, well, let me know why you're not excited about it. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. For live updates, you can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.